Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. And let's get right into this video. Today I will be talking about a series that has been hugely successful. I'm of course talking about The Idol. It was recently premiered at the Cannes Film Festival and it got a lot of positive reviews. And after watching the show myself, I can say that it is one of the best shows I have watched in the recent years. From the cinematography to the writing to the acting, everything is just top notch. Leonardo DiCaprio and Meryl Streep have got nothing on actors in this series. So, overall, it's a great series. I enjoyed it a lot and I will recommend it to everyone and anyone that I can. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye. Now, it would have been great if the video would have ended right there, but it didn't. So, everything that I just said, none of that was true. Actually, it's the opposite of everything that I said. And I wanted to talk about everything basically I found wrong with this series. So, without wasting your time any further, let's get into the video. So the Idol was in works for almost 2 years, and it has been in controversy ever since it was announced. First of all, the biggest one was Sam Levinson's involvement with this, because if you know, very recently, Rolling Stones came out with an expose about Sam Levinson and the toxic work environment at Euphoria and how the female cast were basically sexualized a lot. Euphoria, if you don't know, which if you're living under a rock, it has been one of the biggest shows to come out in the recent years. Very successful, very trendy, very popular. It was directed by Sam Levinson. I have my issues with this show. I cannot lie, but the show is shot beautifully. I love the aesthetics of it, and the acting is the part that really carries the show, especially season 2. I think Sydney Sweeney owned season 2. Apart from that, I'm not a huge fan of the whole plot or storyline because it is based on school students. So it is overly inappropriate at times, and it's a little uncomfortable to think that it's a show about school kids. Anyways, and some of the main cast has spoken about how, they felt uncomfortable shooting some of the scenes, and Barbie has also left the show with such a dedicated fan base that definitely enraged a lot of people, and people were coming after Sam Levinson already before that expose, and that expose kind of put everything out in the open a bit more. So that was one of the biggest controversy surrounding this show already. It's fascinating how a show can have such a star-studded cast, yet none of them know how to act. Some of the main cast members are not very good at acting, and after watching the show, it is so hard to go through. The writing part, I'll start with the writing. The writing is so vulgar at times that you literally have to click off the clips just to regain your conscious again. It's so bad. The delivery of the lines, a lot of the times it's so boring, because after every single line there's this awkward silence that you have to of about a few seconds that you have to sit through, and it's like the actors are saying their line, then they are waiting for the director to say cut so that they can move on to the next line. That's how awkward it is to sit through it. Some of the more known cast members in this show are Lily Rose Depp, The Weeknd, Blackpink's Jennie. Of course, with having some of the biggest singers like The Weeknd, the show already had a lot of eyes on it. But people since the start were kind of, icky about having The Weeknd as an actor. And I got to know about this show because of Blackpink's Jennie's involvement with it. And I also had some doubts about it, especially finding out that Sam was going to be directing it. But I wanted to give it a benefit of doubt. But after watching the show, my doubts were proven right, and it's just overall not a very good show. The actors are not very seasoned, and even with rookie actors, you can see very good acting, but the acting is the biggest lack of this series. There is a huge lack of substance in the writing as well. And I think when you have scripts like that, having good actors can help the show in a way. I'll give you an example of the After series. People have a lot of contradicting opinions about the After series, especially the writing one. And I agree, there are some good moments, but mostly it's made for teenagers. But even with the not a very good script, the actors have done the best that they can. I truly believe the main cast of the After series, they are good actors. There's a reason why people hate Hardin's character. It is because the actor is so good at playing his character that you can't help but feel those emotions towards his character. And that is something that lacks in the idol. Having a bad script, and on top of it, having people who just can't act. They have no screen presence whatsoever.
If you don't have an eating disorder, get one, bitch. Hey.
Rat tail club guy? Yeah. Josh. What? I hate his vibe.
And I think Lily Rose Depp, she's a decent actress, but even watching her is so boring. It's like I said, there's a huge lack of substance and something interesting. I can't even begin to tell how vulgar the writing is in the show. There are some of the scenes that can be so triggering, and they're covering all of that in the name of showing this dark side of this industry or this relationship. I saw this one scene with Lily Rose Depp's character, and she's performing in front of people, and she's in a very vulnerable situation, and she's calling out for her mother.
Mom? What's up, John? What? Mom?
Oh, Jesus, it's all over her face. Oh, man.
I think that scene really showed what this show could have been if they would have embarked more on the actual behind the scenes of what the idols go through or how exploited they are. I think that was the purpose of this show before Sam and The Weeknd poke their noses into this show. There are very few positives to this show, and they get overshadowed by all the negative and the cringiness. Talking about cringiness, let's talk about The Weeknd's character in this show.
Stomp you. I'll fucking curb stomp you. Sorry. I'll fucking curb stomp you. I'm sorry.
First off, I have a problem with the three known singers in this series. That is The Weeknd, Blackpink's Jennie, and Troye Sivan. We love their music. We love them as singers. Nobody asked them to act. We didn't ask them to show us their acting. So why did they feel the need to embark on this show? Why did they feel the need that they had to act? Because they're already very successful as singers. The Weeknd's character is so creepy, it's so cringy, and it's so dull, so boring. I mean, even the creepiness is not acted well. Watching The Weeknd is like watching this black hole trying to talk to a wall. It's pretty pointless. Any scene with The Weeknd was the hardest to go through. He just doesn't have it. It's just he seems so his character seems so greasy. I don't know how else to explain his character. It's just very greasy. There's nothing smooth about this quote unquote villain or a toxic person that he's playing. But it's just so badly done. Troye Sivan's character, it's pretty much, I don't know why it is there other than having another well-known name in this series. Next is Blackpink's Jennie. Now, when she was announced for this show, her fans were obviously excited. Watching her act in this series, I just want to ask her what made her do this series. And can we please hold people accountable for making bad choices? Like, yes, her fans keep saying that she's a grown woman, she can do whatever she wants. Of course, she's a grown woman. She can make her own decisions, and she has made this decision of being in this show. But that doesn't mean that everything that a grown woman does is going to be the right thing that she does. It's such a tone-deaf thing to say that just because she's a grown woman, she can do whatever she wants. Okay, she can do whatever she wants, but that doesn't make her prone to criticism for very obvious reason that her acting is very dull. It's blank. She cannot act. I have watched her scenes and they were just as hard to go through as any other scene in this series. There was no excitement to see her on screen because she lacks presence, just like most of the actors on this show. It's like saying a grown woman tried to drown a child, but it's fine, and you cannot criticize her for that because she's a grown woman. So that means that she's right. It doesn't make sense to say that. And Jenny herself has given interviews where she has said that she loves Sam Levinson and she basically begged him to let her be in this show. So I don't know what her fans are saying, that she was forced to do this or blah blah blah. She was not forced to do this. No one in the show was forced to do this show. They all took part in this willingly, and now they are getting bad reviews and criticism, and rightfully so. Because everything about this show, other than the aesthetics, the way it's shot, other than that, everything about this show is so vulgar. In one word, if I can describe this show, it will be vulgar. No substance to any of the characters whatsoever. Nothing interesting about any of the characters. I don't see any redeeming qualities in this show. I think it's just gonna get more cringy and worse as it goes on. Because after it came out, the second episode was way worse than the first. And I think that's the pattern that will be continued. Am I hating on this show? Yes, because it's just bad. It's bad. When it was premiered at the Cannes When it was premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, it got a standing ovation, and people were like, "Oh, it got a standing ovation. It means that it must be good." Let me clarify something. Cannes Film Festival, it is reserved for the MVPs or the people who are involved in the project. It's a very MVP event. So most of the people at these premieres are the cast and the crew of the project and some of the media critics. Other than that, you don't have anyone outside of this circle. So of course, if the place is filled with their own cast and crew, of course the show is gonna get a standing ovation. I don't think I have ever heard or seen a project not get a standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival, and that is why I don't look at the standing ovation as something that will define whether a project is good or bad, because it's just rich people applauding themselves in their own work. It's like they don't need anyone else to do it because they do it for themselves. They brush their own ego up so much that they don't see anything wrong with what they have made, you know? I think the actors are just as much to blame to be a part of this vulgarity as much as the director and everyone else involved with this. I have heard a lot of people say that this show is supposed to be something else and they changed the whole script and the plot line when the female director was fired. I don't think a lot of these people understand how contracts work. As someone myself who has worked closely with this industry, with these industries, I know how these contracts work. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I have signed up an acting project. I read the script and I signed the movie that I like the script, I'm gonna do this project. Now in the middle of it, they completely change everything about the show. Like they change the whole plot line, they change the directors, they change everything about the original script. At that point, I will have the right to walk out of that show without facing any consequences, because that is not the thing that I signed up for. And if they are changing the whole show or the narrative of the show in the post-production, and when it comes out, I will have the right to sue the production of that show for not consenting with me about the change that they were doing in the script that will completely change the whole plot line. So for people to use this excuse as, the actors were kind of forced to do this, they didn't originally sign up for this script, it's BS. I think it's important to educate yourself about how these things work, and you cannot just change the whole plot line without consenting or telling your cast members, because that can lead to a lawsuit. Especially on such a big level, you have stars like Lily Rose Depp, Blackpink's Jennie. They are not some B-grade celebrities. They are literally some of the most popular girls in the showbiz. They don't need this show to be relevant. The reason why this show has the attention it has is because of the involvement of these women, these celebrities with this show. Otherwise, no one would have cared about this show if it wasn't for the well-known names attached to it. So like I said, the main characters, like the more famous women in this show, they are not some B-grade celebrities that they were forced to do this show. No, it was a choice that they made. It was a script that they liked and they decided to be a part of it. And when someone openly says that they begged the director to let them be a part of the show, that means that they don't see anything wrong with their views or how they portray women in their project. It means that they must be even more excited that they get to work with them. So people need to stop making excuses for anyone involved in this show, and hold them accountable for making a bad project, for putting out a bad performance. They should be criticized where they have to. They should be criticized where it's due. And this show is definitely, it should be criticized for, especially for its writing and just the vulgarity overall. The whole show is not even out yet. We have like almost 3 episodes out, so that's like half of the show is already out. So I think it's fair to critique the show since half of it is already out. Where is the plotline gonna go? I think we all have a slight idea of what will happen, but still, I think since I have watched half of it, I need to watch the rest of it as well, even though my brain literally hurt so much watching it, and it was such a struggle to sit through it. So yes, I will end it here. Have you guys watched it? I mean, I will never recommend this show to anyone. If I have to sum up this whole show in one word, it would be vulgar. Vulgar. I'll keep saying this. It's such a vulgar show. There is no redeeming quality about this show. It doesn't seem like there will be in the future as well. You can make a show about, topics like toxic relationships or toxic work environments or addiction problems and still have it be interesting and still have good writing and still have good acting. The problem with this show is it focused too much on the marketing aspect rather than the actual quality of the show. Just some of the lines alone in this show are so questionable. I can't even say it with my own mouth. That's how disgusting and disturbing they are. And I will be ending this video right here because I could go on and on about how bad I think this series is. So thank you if you stay till the end, just listening to me rant about my dislike for this show. But yes, thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.